So I have the diploma in hand, officially stating that I am now a certified personal trainer. That's all I knew at that point in time, was that I knew I was a certified personal trainer. Had no idea what was going to happen next, had no idea what the next step was, that I had to do. But over these last 12, 13, 15 years, I've learned one thing, that go big or go home is just not a mantra. It's words we live by. We've discovered that, we want adventure. My wife says that all the time. We want adventure in our life. We don't want to necessarily know what's going to happen 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years, 10 years. We want it to be a surprise. But at the same time, we want to affect change. We want to create that surprise, if you will. So here I am, a certified personal trainer with no clients, no place to train any clients, even if I had any, and no idea what it was going to take to become an even adequate personal trainer, if not, let alone a successful one. And here's the thing. I hadn't even thought about the business side of things. Because in order to help people, any of us who are entrepreneurs, who are business owners, who run a business, manage a business, own a business, we have to be in business. We have to be bringing money in. We have to be bringing revenue in. We have to have money in the bank in order to help people, in order to have customers we can take care of and complete projects for. I say that all the time to trainers who undercharge. You have to be in business to be able to help somebody. And I had no clue on what that was going to entail. I had never run a business before. I had certainly never owned a business before, and still at that time hadn't. I had worked for somebody else in the same industry for 26 years. And I didn't know what else to do. So at that point, my wife and I put our heads together, sat down and decided, all right, what are we going to do next? And it's funny, the answer came up in a rather unexpected way. I'd gotten my certification back in the spring of 2018, May of 2018, and really didn't do a whole lot with it for the first few months. I was still working full-time at the newspaper in Erie, Pennsylvania at the time. We owned a home, so obviously I still had to make a solid living in order to help support my family. So I really hadn't done much, and at the time, we had been considering moving our family, myself, my wife, and our son, Zach, to Ocean City, Maryland. We'd gone on vacation there, several times in the previous 5-6 years. We really enjoyed it there. We consider ourselves beach people. We like being at the water. We like being out in the fresh air and the sunshine and in the warmth. And we figured this might be a potential inroad to getting us there. Well, that following October of 2018, we went on vacation with my in-laws, as a matter of fact, down to Ocean City. And for shits and giggles, one day while we were there, I remember driving past on the main road in Ocean City, the main north-south thoroughfare, a gym that was, so the sign for a health and fitness center, for a gym. And so I looked up their website, and like I said, for shits and giggles, decided I'm going to send an email in. I wasn't even sure who I was sending the email to. I didn't really have a name. So I just kind of found a name on their website, a random name, and there weren't many to choose from, and sent an email saying, hey, I'm a newly certified personal trainer. We're thinking about moving to Ocean City. We know you have this gym here in Ocean City. I'd love to come and talk to you about potentially working there as a trainer. Didn't have a resume, didn't have any official like business clothes to wear. None of that. I was on vacation. I had shorts, t-shirts, flip-flops, and never in my wildest dreams did I expect to get a response back. 20 minutes later, I got a response back saying, hey, come on in. I think this was on a Tuesday, if I remember correctly, and they asked me to come in on that Friday. So again, I go in not expecting anything. Sit down with the fitness and training director at the time, and we just talk and talk and talk, and we hit it off well, but obviously he knew I didn't have any prior experience. The only experience I had, I learned in a book, or I learned going through my own personal journey. But I hadn't trained anyone before. I mean, I worked with my two oldest boys, indirectly in a way, because they were, athletes. So, but I had no experience, no practical experience, no firsthand knowledge of anything when it came to health and fitness. A week later, we've already gone back home to PA after vacation ended. Week later, get a message. Hey, we'd love for you to come and work here. We hadn't even decided when we were moving or if we were moving. But if we were moving, I needed to have gainful employment in place to make that happen. I wasn't going to just move unemployed without at least any prospects to make a living. So I talked to my wife about it, and she was all for it. And I can't tell you how important that was to me. How important it is to me now. Fernandez Fit wouldn't be Fernandez Fit. It wouldn't exist without her, without my family. Because without their support, I wouldn't want to do this, much less be able to do this. So I talked to my wife, and she's like, yeah, let's do it. And we decided we were going to move in February, which was still a few months away. Remember, this was October of 2018. We're looking at a February 2019 move date. So I reach out to them again, shot in the dark, figuring, are they really going to hold this job for me for 3-4 months when they could just as easily hire somebody else and get them there probably right away? But again, we've gotten to that point by just taking shots in the dark, so you may as well keep going with it. And sure enough, yeah, we'll hold this job for you. They even had, I learned after I'd moved there and started working there that my first few clients were people that had reached out prior to me moving. And the general manager there at the time thought I would be a good fit for them. And one of which is still a client to this day. He's my longest tenured client. And actually told them to hold off on going anywhere else because Victor was on the way. And we moved. February 20 of 19, we uprooted our family and moved to Ocean City, Maryland. And I started working at the gym, started training people. I remember how nervous I was the first time I trained a client, which again happens to be my longest tenured client. It just built from there. And the biggest thing I learned was that I just needed to be myself. I mean, the way I had the knowledge in my head, I had the knowledge up here. I just needed to be able to provide it, explain it in a manageable, reasonable, realistic, simple way for my clients to understand and be able to implement it into their daily lives. So I just kept things simple. So when my clients and prospective clients hear from me, when I keep things simple and safe and effective and progressive, that's how it all started. I may as well do it simply, make life a little bit easier on myself. As I was starting to build my name for myself, I was starting to build my experience level, my comfort level, my confidence level. May as well keep it simple, not make it any harder than it needed to be, than it already was. It was already an overwhelming process going from an industry where I knew I was good at it. I could do it in my sleep. I had done it for so long, nearly 3 decades, into a completely different industry that I had no prior experience in, and I had to build a name for myself. And I had to build it from scratch. That was incredible for me, because that was the moment in time that I realized that we as a family could do anything we set our minds to. And that blew my mind because that was not what I learned growing up. That's not how I was taught growing up. But it completely changed the way I think, the way we think. And it was the moment in time when our life together changed forever.